We live in a world that worships movement, constant action, endless doing, always striving to make something happen. But what if everything you've been told about manifestation has been upside down? What if the harder you chase your dreams, the further they drift away? In the realm of quantum manifestation, effort isn't power, it's resistance. Reality at its deepest level isn't linear or logical. It doesn't bend to pressure or urgency. It moves in response to coherence, that inner alignment between who you are and what you claim to want. Here's where most people get it wrong. They're trying to draw in abundance while vibrating with the energy of lack. They visualize love while radiating loneliness. They affirm freedom while still anchored in fear. And the universe doesn't respond to the words or the rituals. It responds to the frequency beneath them, your energetic truth. The secret most never talk about is this: manifestation doesn't happen because you asked for something. It happens because you became it. The quantum field in a vast matrix of infinite potential doesn't respond to force. It responds to resonance. So your task isn't to push harder or hustle more. It's to tune yourself to the frequency of what you're asking for. This is where most people get stuck. They hear phrases like, act as if it's already done, or feel as though it's here, but it feels fake, unreachable, like pretending. That's because they haven't yet understood the paradox. The state of allowing is the state that attracts. In quantum physics, there's a fascinating principle called the observer effect. It shows that our observation doesn't just record reality, it actually shapes it. But there's a catch. Observation only changes reality when it's infused with expectancy, not desperation. When you look at life through a lens of trust and certainty, energy begins to organize. The wave collapses into form. Potential becomes reality. But when you observe through fear or urgency, the wave remains uncollapsed, still possible but never actual. So take a breath and pause here. This isn't about guilt or blame. It's about awakening to how your energy communicates with the universe. Think of it like tuning a radio. You can't listen to 98.7 FM while your dial is stuck on 88.1. No matter how much you want that music, it won't come through until you tune yourself to the right frequency. That's the essence of quantum manifestation. It's not about begging the universe to deliver. It's about aligning yourself with the vibration where that version of your life already exists. This is the beautiful place where ancient wisdom meets modern science. Neville Goddard spoke of living from the end, embodying the emotional tone of your desired outcome. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains how your brain and heart must work in harmony, sending one coherent signal to the quantum field. And Abraham Hicks calls it getting into the vortex, that emotional sweet spot where resistance fades and receiving begins. Here's the irony: simplicity terrifies the ego. We've been conditioned to believe that real change must come from struggle, that progress demands pain, and transformation requires effort. But in the quantum world, it's the opposite. The more you chase, the more you confirm that you don't have. The more you force, the stronger your resistance grows. That's why this truth feels almost hidden. Because simplicity isn't dramatic. It isn't marketable. Yet it's where everything begins to shift. The path of alignment isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more still, tuned and coherent. So before we move forward, remember this: you don't manifest through effort, you manifest through frequency. Most people approach manifestation like it's a checklist. Visualize every morning, write affirmations, repeat it 10 times, and while these rituals can help, they often stay surface level, attempts to polish the mirror instead of transforming the face it reflects. Because here's the truth: the quantum field doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to who you're being, and being is not performance. It's not pretending to feel abundant while secretly panicking about rent. It's not saying, I trust the universe, while obsessing over when it's finally going to happen. Being, here's alignment, that vibrational match between your inner world and the reality you want to experience. Dr. Joe Dispenza describes it this way: your thoughts are electric, and your emotions are magnetic. Together, they form an electromagnetic signature that broadcasts your current state of being into the quantum field. That field, which holds every possible reality, reorganizes itself based on the signal you're sending. Not what you wish for, but what you embody. So let's break that down. Imagine you're calling in financial freedom. But every day you're anxious, checking your account, worrying about lack. That signal, that energy, this says scarcity. And scarcity can't attract abundance. It just creates more scarcity. The universe isn't punishing you, it's simply mirroring your broadcast. Here's the twist. The fastest way to change your frequency isn't by chasing a different future. It's by feeling it now. Practice the energy of your desired reality until it feels familiar. Not fake, not forced, but like remembering something ancient and true, because in the infinite multiverse, that version of you already exists. And when your emotions and thoughts align with that version, you begin to pull it into the now. This isn't fantasy. Neuroplasticity proves that the brain rewires itself through mental rehearsal. When you imagine a future and feel genuine gratitude, joy, or peace, your brain begins building the neural patterns as if it's already happening. Do it long enough, and your body begins to believe before your eyes can see. And when the body believes, the field responds. Neville Goddard called this assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. He didn't mean to fake it, he meant to fuse with it, to let that emotion become more real than your current circumstances, until your nervous system calibrates to it completely, because manifestation isn't asking the universe for favors. It's about meeting the version of you who already has what you seek, and merging with them through resonance, not effort. When that resonance stabilizes, the quantum field reflects it back as experience. There's a shift that happens when you stop waiting for signs and start becoming the sign, when you stop watching for synchronicities and start living in sync. That's when reality bends. That's when time collapses. That's when life starts moving toward you, not because of luck, but because you've entered coherence. Now that we understand this truth, that the quantum field doesn't hand you what you want, but mirrors who you are, the question becomes, how do you collapse possibility into physical form? Quantum physics reveals that every potential already exists. Your dream home, your soulmate, your creative success, your financial freedom. They're not distant goals. They're vibrational options, waiting for your awareness to choose them. But thinking about them isn't enough. The field doesn't move because you daydream. It moves when your emotionally charged focus signals, this is real, it's not passive. It's not wishful. It's observation fused with belief, trust, and alignment. When you feel your future as if it's already here, you begin imprinting that version into the quantum field. You're not chasing it anymore. You're stabilizing it. And that's when the universe reorganizes itself around you. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that this requires coherence, the synchronization between your brain and your heart. Most people live in mental noise and emotional conflict. Their thoughts want one thing, but their feelings vibrate with fear, doubt, or lack. Their energy becomes scattered, and in that state the field can't find a clear frequency to reflect. When your brain and heart align, your signal sharpens. You stop sending mixed messages. You begin broadcasting one unified tone, the frequency of trust, gratitude, and certainty. That's the energy signature of someone who's no longer hoping, but being. Now let's bring this into biology. Every emotion releases a chemical cocktail in your body. Gratitude floods your system with dopamine and oxytocin. Trust generates serotonin. These aren't just feel-good moments. They shift your physiology into alignment, and your state of being becomes your point of attraction. When you can generate these emotions without any outer proof, without waiting for results, you reclaim your creative power. You stop reacting to life. You start informing it. That's the moment your reality begins to reshape. Neville Goddard used to say, your assumptions harden into fact. What he meant was that your consistent emotional stance becomes a gravitational pull, rearranging the matter around you until your outer world mirrors your inner certainty. And this isn't poetic philosophy. It's physics. The observer effect, entanglement, and coherence all point to the same truth. What you focus on doesn't just expand, it transforms. You're not a spectator in this universe. You're a participant, shaping it moment by moment through your focus, emotion, and choice. So now the question becomes, how do you stay in that energy? How do you hold the vibration of your desired reality long enough for the universe to shape around it? Because it's one thing to feel aligned in meditation, and another to keep that frequency steady when life tests you. This is where most people lose momentum. They think alignment means constant bliss, But true alignment is consistency, not perfection. It's the quiet choice to return and again to the energy of trust. You plant the seed through intention. You water it through emotion. And you protect it through discipline. Not the kind of discipline that forces, but the kind that anchors. You start walking through your day as if your prayer has already been answered. You speak with the tone of someone who already knows. You move through the world not in hope, but in quiet certainty. Because when your nervous system begins to believe the future is now, the quantum field must rearrange to match it. This is the bridge between wishing and becoming, between visualization and manifestation, and it's built through repetition, emotional repetition. Every time you choose gratitude over worry, presence over panic, certainty over doubt, you're rewiring your body to live in that new timeline. That's what embodiment really means. It's not thinking positively, it's feeling truthfully until it becomes your baseline. Think about this. When a singer hits the right note, the glass doesn't break because of effort. It shatters because of resonance. Your reality works the same way. When your energy matches the frequency of what you desire, the illusion of separation dissolves, and suddenly opportunities, people, and synchronicities start to appear, not by chance, but by resonant design. This is how you cross the bridge from possibility to embodiment. You don't wait for evidence. You become the evidence. And when you live that way long enough, you no longer manifest from lack. You create from overflow. You stop searching for miracles because you realize you are one. But let's be honest, this is where most people get stuck. You do the work. You meditate, visualize, affirm. You feel aligned for a few days, and then something happens. The old version of reality shows up again. The bills, the silence, the delay, and the mind says, "See, it's not working." That's the moment most people collapse their frequency. They start doubting the unseen, and the signal flickers. Not because the field stopped responding, but because you changed the broadcast, you shifted timelines, back into fear, back into lack. But here's the paradox. Every setback is not a punishment. It's a mirror check, a reflection asking, will you choose faith or familiar? Because when nothing seems to be happening, everything is. The quantum field doesn't operate by human timing. It moves through coherence, and coherence builds through consistency. The universe tests your certainty not to break you, but to see if your energy can hold what you asked for. Think of it like tuning a guitar. You don't throw it away because it sounds off-key. You keep adjusting until it resonates again. The same applies to you. Each moment of doubt is an invitation to come back into frequency, to breathe, to remember who you are, because the version of you that already has it never questions if it's coming. They live in energetic certainty, not hope. Hope looks into the future and waits. Certainty lives in the now and allows, and that's where timelines shift. That's where the unseen starts crystallizing into form. So when your mind says it's not here yet, your heart must whisper, it's already done. You hold that vibration until your body believes. And once your body believes, the field reflects it back. That's not magic, that's resonance physics. Reality is not testing your patience, it's matching your persistence. Stay in that frequency long enough, and you'll notice subtle movements, a message, a chance encounter, a small opening. Those are not coincidences. They're alignments, proof that the fabric of your world is responding. You don't need to chase. You don't need to beg. You need to hold the energy of the version of you who already has it. Because in that frequency, you're no longer waiting for the future. You're living it. That's the portal through which your new reality flows. And now let's speak directly to your subconscious. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe, inhale through the heart, and exhale through trust. You are not chasing anything. You are aligning with what's already yours. The quantum field responds to certainty, not desperation. To gratitude, not grasping. To being, not begging. So right here, right now, we anchor that frequency. Repeat silently in your mind. I am not waiting. I am receiving. I am not searching. I am remembering. I am not becoming. I already am. Each breath you take is an affirmation. Each heartbeat is a transmission. Your body is no longer in the past. Your energy is tuned to the now. This is your point of creation, the 0 point where everything becomes possible. Feel that. not as imagination, but as recognition. Because the moment you feel it, you've already called it in. The universe doesn't hear words. It feels vibration. And your vibration right now says, I am ready, ready to receive without fear, ready to expand without limit, ready to live from alignment, not absence. You've crossed the bridge between wishing and knowing. You've entered the field of energetic certainty. From this space, watch what begins to unfold. The signs, the synchronicities, the effortless alignment. You won't have to chase. You'll attract naturally, magnetically, effortlessly, because that's what happens when your frequency matches your future. So take one more deep breath, in gratitude, in peace and in full surrender. And as you exhale, whisper silently within yourself, it's done because it is. It always has been. You just remembered. 7 for alignment of mind. 6 for activation of heart. 5 for the awakening of the soul. You are now in resonance with the frequency of the fulfilled. Walk in that vibration, and reality will meet you halfway.